Difference between shape and form. The value or tonal value is the most important term you have to understand as an artist. I'm taking one, this and this sphere as 2. So what's the difference between 1 and 2? Hello everyone, I'm Hariprasad Sukumaran. Welcome to today's video. So most of your drawings are looking flat because actually they are looking like a shape rather than a form. So in today's video, we'll try to understand the difference between a shape and a form and how to actually create the illusion of form in your drawing. Okay, so make sure to watch the full video. Let's start the video. Hello everyone, so welcome to this particular chapter. It's very important to understand what's the difference between shape and form. Understanding about this difference and understanding this form, especially in depth, will help you to give a better understanding about the light and shadow. So let's see first of all what's the difference between shape and form. So here you can see the first one. So this is actually a shape. Okay, it's a circle. So circle is a shape basically. So what's mean by shape is actually it's two-dimensional. Okay, it's 2D. So used to tell the term 2D or two-dimensional. Okay, two-dimensional. So what do you mean by two-dimensional, right? So basically this shape, okay, this circle, we can measure only in two ways. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, right? So we can measure this circle, this shape in two ways. That is in this direction, that is, the width, right? This is the width of this shape and this is the height, that's all. Understand? So this is we can measure only in two ways. So that is the breadth or the width and the height, right? There is no depth in that. They are flat. There is no depth or there is no volume or there is no space inside, right? So this is an example. So this circle is an example of a shape, right? So we can take some of similar examples, like if you take a rectangle, right? So I'm drawing a rectangle here. So this is also basically a shape, right? This rectangle also is a shape. So if I'm taking a polygon, right? So I'm marking here a polygon. So that is also basically a shape, correct? So anything, the circle, rectangle, square, right? Polygon, whatever may be, oval, all the shapes are two-dimensional, they are flat. Now coming to forms. This is a form, right? Can you see here? This sphere. Okay, it's a sphere, right? Sphere is a form. What's the main difference between these two? So here the main difference is, you can see, mainly it's about the dimension, right? So if you have to measure this sphere, we can measure in three different ways, right? So one is definitely the breadth, right? So the width of that particular sphere, and even the height. We can measure the height, right? How much is the height of the sphere? And one more thing is we can measure in the depth or the volume inside that, right? What's the depth inside that? That side is called three-dimensional. So form is three-dimensional. Why? We can measure this form in three ways. That is the length, right? The width and the depth. So that is additional dimension, which in two-dimensional don't have. Two dimensions are flat, right? They don't have depth. But in three-dimensional we have space. Example, if you take a sphere, there is a volume inside, right? There is a space within that sphere, right? So there is a depth or the volume. Okay, that's why they are called a three-dimensional. So we can measure the depth also. Okay, some other examples may be cube, right? If I'm taking a cube, right? So I'm drawing a cube here. So a cube can also have three dimensions, right? So example, we can measure this ways, the height of the cube, the width, then plus we have this direction, that is the, depth, right? Right, so there is a depth for that cube, right? If I'm taking a cube, cuboid, cylinder, right? If I'm taking cylinder, same way, you can making a cylinder. So in this cylinder also, we see we have this depth, right? Can you see that? So if we measure there, we can have three directions. That is x-axis, y-axis, right? Plus this z-axis. So z-axis is the depth. So we can measure the depth of that cylinder, right? So this is why these are called three-dimensional. So basically forms are three-dimensional. They have depth or volume. But flat shapes are two-dimensional, right? They're flat. I hope it's a very simple explanation of what is a shape and form. See, whenever you're drawing something realistic, right? When you're going to draw or paint realistic drawings, actually we are creating forms, not shapes. Okay. So some of your beginners, when your beginners are drawing or painting, have seen the drawings look like flat. So what's the meaning of that? Flat means they look just like a shape. So if you're trying to create a sphere, I have seen more often the beginners, their sphere will not look like a sphere, instead look like a circle. it looked flat. Getting my point, right? That's why I'm telling the understanding of the form is important. So everything in our surrounding, actually they are forms, right? Example, if I'm taking water bottle, it is a form, right? Even if I'm taking human beings, right? Our face, it has a spherical quality. It's like a sphere. It's not exactly like a sphere, but it's a form, right? It has some depth. So that's I'm telling you, try to observe in your water surrounding, whatever is everything there have some depth. Even if I'm drawing a flower example, right? Flower is a form, it's not a flat object. Even animals, even a tree. So basically what you're painting or drawing, actually they are forms. But actually on which surface you're drawing, right? Example, if I'm taking a canvas or a paper, that canvas or paper, whatever may be, they're flat, they're flat surfaces, correct? On the two-dimensional plane, we have to try to create an illusion of form. So the whole idea about realistic drawing or painting is to create an illusion of form. It should look like a three-dimensional form. Now let's see how we can create something look like a form. So I'm taking this flat, right, circle as one, and this sphere as 2. So what's the difference between 1 and 2? So see, one thing you can see, the edges are same, right? Can you see this edges? If I'm marking the edges, like it's like a circle, right? So the edges, can you see this edges? I'm talking, it's circle, right? And even if you take this edge of a sphere, it's like a circle, correct? If I'm just marking the outline, I'm telling the outline of this sphere, it's like a circle. So what matters is so just to ignore the shadow, everything. Don't worry about this shadow or the table, nothing. Okay, just ignore that. Just to see this form, what is happening inside that. So here you see, the value or tonal values are just the lightness or darkness, how much light or dark something is. So this is the most important term you have to understand as an artist, especially when you're doing hyperrealism. I will be using this term value or tonal value continuously throughout this course. So basically value or tonal value, both are same. Value or tonal value, okay, TONAL, VALUE, value or tonal value, both are same. So basically what's value is just the lightness or darkness, just note down value, okay, or tonal value. They are basically lightness or darkness. That means how much light or dark something is, that's all. Okay, so lightness, how much light it is or how much dark it is, that's all, simple definition. So example, if I'm coming to this, circle, this shape, there is a lightness to it, right? There is a kind of lightness or darkness. So this is the value we can tell. So this is the value here, correct? So everywhere you can see throughout this circle or this shape, we have just one value. Everywhere is same, right? Can you get my point? So everyone we have same tone. That's a tonal value, okay, or value, simple term value or both are same. Everything has same tonal value. If you're taking here, see 1. If I'm marking here 1, if you're marking it 2, both 1 and 2 are same. The value is same. Both are same lightness. Now coming to this sphere, you can see here, if you're marking here 1, okay, 2, 3, I'm just marking 1, 2, 3. I hope you can see here 4, 5. So what we can see the difference, right? So I told in first our two-dimensional shape, everywhere we have same value, just the same lightness or darkness, same, it's same. Now coming to this sphere, you can see if I taking 1, 2, 3, everywhere we have different value. Example, you can say 2 has lighter value, right? 2 is lighter. 1 is darker than 2, right? 5 is darker than 2, 3 is more darker than, right? 3 is more darker than 5. 4 is more darker. If I'm marking here, getting a point. So everywhere, every point has different values. This is the main difference between shape and form. If your drawing is looking like a shape or if your painting is looking flat, that means you are not giving enough value variations. You are just giving 1 or 2 values. So if you have to create an illusion of form, as I told, our realistic drawing is all about creating an illusion of form. If you want to create enough, illusion of form, we have to make sure there should be enough value variations. How to create this value variation, we'll talk. Don't worry about it. I'll teach you how much dark or light it should be. I'll talk about that. Now just understand, main thing is value. Okay, you have to create enough value variation to create something look realistic or three-dimensional form. I hope you understood the difference between shape and a form, and also the importance of value variation in creating the illusion of a form, right? So in coming videos, we'll discuss more about this value variation and how to use this value variation in creating the illusion of form, and more about the light and shadow. So we'll be discussing more about this in coming videos. So if you found it useful, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you like to learn more about realism or hyperrealism, I have a training, so you can check the link in description box. Okay, so take care, see you in the next video.